prolific competitors in WWE history.
Without question, a man who's exhibited over 25 years of dominance in sports entertainment.
WWE 2K23 is the latest addition to the long-standing series of professional wrestling video games developed by Visual Concepts and published by 2K Games. With new gameplay mechanics, updated graphics, and a roster of both current and classic WWE superstars, the game promises to deliver an exciting and immersive experience for fans of the sport. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the various features and aspects of WWE 2K23 to see if it lives up to the high expectations set by its predecessors. Whether you're a die-hard wrestling fan or just a casual gamer, keep watching to find out what is WWE 2K23.
He's a technical mastermind.
Triple H has seen it all. Triple H.
Gameplay inside the ring for WWE 2K23 continues to take the arcade approach with this year's iteration. Light attacks, heavy attacks, grabs, and counters make up the basics of the gameplay. Combos are started with your light attacks and then expand from there, allowing you to finish the combos in a variety of ways. Playing is super easy to pick up and very hard to put down. It won't take long to start pulling off the moves you see your favorite superstars doing on TV. You'll need to fill up one of two different gauges though to start pulling off signature and finisher moves. The blue gauge fills up by generally playing the match, landing combos and reversing your opponent's attacks. Once it's filled, you'll be able to kick out of pins easier, break free of submissions, instantly recover when knocked down on the ground, or hit your opponent with your wrestler's signature move. If that attack lands, then you'll instantly get a yellow bar filled up, allowing you to hit your opponent with a finisher. If that finisher hits and isn't reversed, you are almost guaranteed to stun your opponent, allowing for a much easier time at a pin. Last year I made mention that with the reboot of the series, it was seriously jarring having intros, signature moves, and finishers all locked at 30 FPS, while the rest of the game ran at 60 FPS. Apparently, throughout the past year, 2K22 had a patch that added an option that allowed the signature moves and finishers to run at 60 FPS. While it is not enabled by default in 2K23, there is thankfully an option to enable it. It may seem minor, but this alone made the gameplay 1,000 times more enjoyable for a primarily PC gamer like myself. You know what else makes games more enjoyable? Playing with friends. With WWE 2K23, you'll be able to use PlayStation's SharePlay or Steam's Remote Play together to play with friends, meaning only one of you in the friends group needs to pick up the game for everyone to enjoy it. No need to have everyone dropping the $60 plus each year on the title. Sorry Xbox users, you kinda get screwed because that feature isn't available on your console. If there's one thing you can count on, it's the WWE games having a variety of different game modes available for players to play and enjoy. We'll start off with the My Rise mode. My Rise is the quote-unquote career mode for WWE 2K23. This year we have the option at two different quote-unquote origin stories to base your wrestler off of. You can choose whether to be the Legacy, a relative of a WWE legend, making the choice to either leverage your family ties to get ahead or try to forge your own path. The other option is to be the Lock, the guaranteed next big thing to hit the WWE, testing the mettle of your wrestler, seeing if they can keep up with the expectations of the media, management, and especially the fans. There are 3 different mission types that you could complete to gain attribute points to help progress your wrestler stats. Aside from the main story missions, you'll have the opportunity to partake in one-off events or build a smaller storyline / rivalry. Rivalry storylines always ended up the same and became very stale as I progressed. It started off with some social media beef. We had a match. They would attack my wrestler backstage. We'd have another match after some more social media back and forth, and that would be that. The ideas are all there, but the execution unfortunately isn't. The writing's alright, nothing to phone home about, but the character models just looked off during conversations. Hair kept clipping through the clothing, and the facial expressions were just weird, and it just threw me off, and it was kind of jarring. On top of this, the voice acting is all over the place, if you can even call it acting. Two of the major gripes I had was most of the time it sounded like everyone was just reading a script and not acting out their parts. And the quality of the recordings were also all over the place. It sounded at times as if they were recorded through a webcam microphone or from a home laptop and then sent it over to the studio. Now I get that wrestlers have an absolutely insane schedule and are on the road for a majority of the year. but let's not literally phone in the quality of the product if they're too busy to do the actual recordings. It would have been a better product if there was just no voice acting at all. My faction is the publisher-mandated pay-to-win game mode that has become a standard across all sports games. Out of principle, I will not be touching or covering this any farther, and instead make this statement directly to 2K.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now that I've got all that negative energy out of my system, let's talk about creation mode. Creation mode continues to be a shining cornerstone of this franchise. The tools are there to literally create whatever or whoever you would like to when it comes to them being a wrestler. Starting from the ring gear all the way to their entrance. I could honestly make a 4-hour video going over every little aspect of this creation mode. Just know that it is meaty. And if it is all a bit overwhelming for you, or your creative juices just aren't flowing, then you can hop on over and explore the community creations. As of recording this video, there were over 3,300 pages of created wrestlers. Some of them recreated wrestlers of the past who aren't on the roster, others being superheroes, like Batman. My universe is the ultimate sandbox experience for the WWE universe. You get full control of every brand associated with the WWE, the activities that take place throughout the week, who holds what title, including any titles you can think of, and make in the creation mode. Whatever you want to happen, you can make it happen. The only real limitations here are your imagination. For me personally, I wish there was a little bit more feedback on the shows I was putting on and if they were any good, if the matches were good or anything like that. But really and truly, if you're having fun with it, if you're enjoying just seeing what crazy mashups you can put together and what crazy titles you can get people to get, then just do it. It's the best part about it. Whatever you want, you have. Every year, the showcase mode features a different superstar and goes through major moments in their career. This year, WWE 2K23 features John Cena. If you're unfamiliar with this mode, it is set up almost as an interactive documentary. Each match has an intro of John himself reminiscing on the match, the feelings he felt, and what it meant for his overall career. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, if you're a fan of the WWE, and especially of John Cena, I highly suggest checking out this game mode, listening to his documentary of him entering the matches and just him reliving his past during this game mode. I chose to omit any of that footage because I feel like it's best experienced for yourself, and high chance that we would get a DMCA takedown if I included it. My GM mode is by far my favorite game mode in WWE 2K23, which is a big change from last year. Last year's version lacked a sense of creative freedom, limiting titles available to just the men's and women's championships. Visual Concepts heard some of the criticisms from last year and definitely made it a point to address them in WWE 2K23. Now we have access to the tag titles in both the men's and women's divisions, including mid-card titles such as the Intercontinental Championship. In GM mode, you take control of one of the 4 WWE brands and pit yourself against the CPU, or fellow friends and family members, in running the best show possible every week. With the choice of various general managers, you gain different one-time use cards that can be used to either help out your brand or screw over one of the other ones. The goal of this mode is to manage your brand by generating as many fans and as much money as possible. Draft wrestlers, set up matches every week, and build rivalries leading into premium live events is the core gameplay in this mode. Everyone has the same starting budget and is responsible for drafting a minimum of 9 superstars to their roster. Wrestlers are split into baby faces and heels. From there, each wrestler has their own wrestling style. To get the best results from your matches, it's best to put a baby face against the heel, then also try to put opposing fighting styles against each other. Fighters against bruisers, cruiserweights against giants, etc., etc. When it comes to your initial draft, it is crucial to keep these things in mind to ensure early success for your brand. With the addition of new titles, I found myself enjoying this mode much more this year compared to last year's version. We still can't have ourselves triple threat or even fatal 4-ways for the titles, but this is still a step in the right direction for this game mode. WWE 2K23 offers a plethora of different ways to play and enjoy the game. With everything they have, I truly believe there is something for everyone. Whether you like the sim aspect of being a GM, or letting your brain cook in the creative mode. Over the past 2 years, Visual Concepts has definitely turned this franchise around. They just need to continue along this path, Continue polishing the product, bring us new features each year, and we can avoid a repeat of 2K19. If you have ever been a professional wrestling fan in your lifetime, I'm sure you'll find enjoyment out of WWE 2K23.